Recording. Okay, so start on recording now. This is a Monday session for the course PIN233 section 2, if I'm not mistaken, on October the 5th. Time flies. And we're dealing with strong and weak forms. I don't know if I may ask a couple of questions to be used as examples. Javiera Triviños, are you there with a working microphone?
Yes, I am.
All right. Do you mind answering, one or two questions?
Okay, but I'm not really sure if I will answer properly.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. I trust in you. Trust in you. Javiera, the first question is, what's your favorite season of the year and why?
I think it would be winter because we have holidays.
Okay, that's a good question. That's a good answer because we have holidays, exactly. All right, like you mean the winter break, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Let me interview someone else in the room. Thank you, Javiera. Just to know a little bit of you, all right? Daniel Duque, good morning. Do you have a working microphone?
Yes. Hi, teacher.
Hello. So, Daniel, I have a question for you. The question is quite simple. What do you like doing in your free time?
Listening to music. I like listening to music in my free time.
What kind of music or what kind of, what style?
Pop in general.
Okay. Are there any types of pop, or pop is only one? I'm total ignorant in this matters.
What I mean, pop in general, like apart from pop, EDM, R&B, K-pop, like all the genres that are related to that genre.
Okay. Thank you so much. So K-pop would be part of K-pop, and R&B it will also be part of this. And
I mean, there are different genres, but for me are kind of related.
got you. All right. Thank you so much. And I would like to interview one more person, Natalie Reolledo. Natalie, do you have a working microphone? So, Natalie, if your microphone is not working, could you, type in the chat a message? If not, I'm moving to
Yes, hi.
Natalie. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. So, Natalie, one question for you, all right? The question is, what's the best memory you have and why?
I don't know.
Okay. Or, I don't know, I didn't want to say the saddest, but sometimes negative memories tend to get fixed.
Maybe a good memory can be a I travel with my family in the
Okay.
holidays. Yes, there are good memories.
All right. Memorable for you. Memorable in terms of you had a good time with them.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for answering. Thank you for the answers. Remember, I told you at the beginning that we were going to use them as to know you better and also as examples. All right. So let's take a look at the examples that I'm trying to share with you. So our first interviewee answered, I think it would be winter because we have holiday, right? I think it would be winter because we have holiday. Okay, so I think it would be winter. I think it would be winter because we have holiday. So if you pay attention to this structure, there seems to be a rhythm of beats, some strong and some weak. I think it would be winter because we have a holiday. So there seem to be some words that are more prominent in this sentence, right? And later on, we're going to review the concept of sentence stress. Remember, we were dealing with word stress. So there's also what is known as sentence stress. And in a sentence, like, I think it would be winter. Winter would be the word that receives this emphasis, right? Because we have holiday, and holiday would be the most salient element in that specific sentence, right? Because these are two sentences that have, you know, a subject, a verb, right, etc., etc. That's going to be related with sentence stress, right? And sentence stress is also connected with what we're dealing today, which is strong and weak forms, right? I think it would has a strong form. It also has a weak form, right? Would, right? And would schwa. I think it would be winter because we seems to be sort of shortened instead of we with a long tense, right? E, because it seems to be shortened. We have holiday, and have instead of having a trap seems to be with a schwa, right? We have holiday. We have holiday. Try to see if in the following exercise you can find words which may take up the weak form and not the strong form. Remember that content words, nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs only have a strong form. And the function words are the ones which have either a strong or a weak form. But most of the time, right, we're using the weak form for function words, like prepositions, conjunctions, articles, auxiliaries, right, modals. So listen to music in my free time. Listening to music in my free time. Which words do you think take up the weak form? Listening to music in my free time. Probably
Two.
two,
In.
right? And in, right? Perfect. Listening to music in my free time, right? Now, in general, we might shorten this using a syllabic n. Listening to music in my free time, in my free time. Listening to music in my free time. All right. So this could take up a weak form. This preposition could take up a weak form. Exactly. Pop in general. Pop in general. What I mean, pop in general, K-pop, R&B, R&B, R&B. So from this section, pop in general, what I mean, pop in general, K-pop, R&B. I think I missed some elements of the sentence, right? But that's what I typed according to my typing skills. Pop in general, what I mean, pop in general, K-pop and R&B. What do you think of this one? And R&B. There's probably right a sense of being reduced. R&B, R&N. At least the schwa, R&B. Maybe R&B. Maybe. There are different genres. There are different genders. There are. Maybe, what do you think about this one? Instead of R, there are different genres. There are different, I think, what do you think this, I think the focus is here, genres, right? There are different genres. So we're not interested in this. There are different genres. Unless we're making a point. There are different genres, but they're all related, right? That could be an option too. But definitely, right? But weak form. But they're all related. They're all related. They're all related. Probably the focus is here, right? All. They're all related. They're all related. So probably this might be a weak form as well, right? They're all related. I don't know. Maybe a good memory can be, I don't know, maybe a good, definitely, right? Weak form. Maybe a good memory can definitely, we have a weak form here. A travel, again, a travel with my family in the holidays. Definitely the article. Maybe in, there are good memories. Also, we have our here that could be used as the weak form, right? Try this exercise, which I took from a website. This is not something this is not original, by the way. And decide how the word indicated would change the meaning in the following sentence when using the strong form. Practice saying each sentence aloud, alternating between weak and strong forms. Do you notice how the meaning changes through stress? So in the first sentence, make this a strong am with a trap. Am. Okay, did you read it aloud? Now, what do you think the meaning is? Any idea? Anything that comes to your mind? Let's test this, all right? Let's test it. Ignacia Gonzalez, could you read number 1 aloud, please? Very loud.
I am an
All right. I think my internet is playing some games with me, but the idea is that you're emphasizing the verb, right? To be. I am an English teacher in Portland, Oregon. I am. What's the connotation of using a strong form instead of reading I'm an English teacher in Portland, Oregon? I am an English teacher in Portland, Oregon. I am an English teacher in Portland, Oregon. Is there any change in terms of meaning? Let's see if the next one may may shed some light on what we're discussing now. Vanessa Nunez, could you read the second one, please, this time? Stressing from, using a strong form. From.
I am an English teacher from Portland, Oregon.
Right. What's the difference? What's in terms of meaning?
That I emphasizing that I'm from Portland.
Exactly. And what's the idea with emphasizing the place of origin? The provenance. Why?
To give a different meaning.
Well, probably right. In the according to the context, probably right. You want to give some emphasis on that. Well, probably we need more context, right? But yes, but yes, you're emphasizing the place of origin or provenance. Why we're going to decide that later. Maybe by reading the explanation later, we may agree, disagree. Katia, would you mind reading? Thank you, Vanessa. Katia, would you like reading the next one, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
He said that she should see a doctor.
All right. He said that she should see a doctor. What's the implication here?
Maybe it is a kind of request.
Okay.
The word should.
Exactly. Kind of request, right? Exactly, because usually we use should for a request, for a recommendation, right? He said that she should see a doctor. What if we don't stress should? She said that she should see a doctor. She should see a doctor. Maybe the stress would shift to the noun at the end, right? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see that later. Let's see if Cristobal is available. Cristobal, would you mind reading exercise number 4, please? Stressing where.
Yes.
Thank you.
They were able to find a job despite the difficult market.
Excellent. Now stress where.
They were able to find a job despite the difficult market.
That's right. They were able to find a job despite the difficult market. They were able to find a job, sorry. They were. Is there any implication? Is there any change in terms of meaning? If you use a strong form for were or a weak form? This is an open question, right? For everyone in the room.
I think that if we use the strong form, we are giving the focus of the sentence to the word where. So we're giving the more importance to the verb, to what they did.
All right. All right. Good answer. Good answer. We're going to compare this with the answers provided in the next slide, and also and what you answered here. Right. Let's take a look at the next one. Anyone will volunteer for reading number 5? Okay, I was just testing. I really wanted to do this before to see how much we were going to stay silent. Valentina, do you mind reading the next one, please? That would be number 5. Stressing, not stressing, but using a strong form for do. Do, not the. Valentina, do you have a working microphone?
Yes, Professor.
Thank you.
Do you know where he comes from?
All right, excellent. Now, emphasize more and use a strong do.
Do you know where he comes from?
Excellent, excellent. So, in general, to know where he comes from, there will be two words that would stand out, the two verbs, right? Know and comes. Now, do you know where he comes from? Do you know? There's a slight change of meaning that we're going to discuss. Please, if you have any idea of what the change of meaning and you would like to sort of, try to guess, at any moment, interrupt the process and say it, all right? Carla Trujillo, do you mind reading the next one, Carla, please? This will be number 6. Producing a strong them, not them.
Okay. I'll give the assignment to them.
Any implication?
Sorry?
Any implication, any change in terms of meaning? What if we used a weak form? If you read it again, but used a weak form?
Maybe with this strong form, we're emphasizing that we're giving the assignment to them and not to others.
All right. All right. Excellent answer. Excellent answer. Thank you so much. Catherine Madulana, would you mind reading the number 7, please? Producing a strong R.
Yes.
Thank you.
She's one of our most valued students.
Okay, now try to emphasize a little bit more or make it stronger, please. The word "our," the possessive.
Okay. She's one of our most valued students.
All right. So, any changes in terms of meaning?
That you are talking about a girl, and you are in a group. So, are you saying that is one of our, not of other group?
All right. Interesting. So you're referring to a group of students that are part of your, I don't know, community, and not to other to students who belong to a different place, a different school.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Interesting point. Thank you so much, Catherine. and the last one, Maria Francisca, would you mind reading the number 8, please? Strong form for and, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like Tom and Andy to come to my party. Should I read it again? I'd like Tom and Andy to come to my party.
Implications. This is implication. Sorry, I think I'm back. Internet issues. Nothing
Yes,
that I can.
now you're back.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Should I read
So,
again, or it's all right?
Just the connotation or the implication of using a strong and not a weak form.
Because it's indicating that it's not just one person. There are two people that she wants to invite.
I think so, right? Yeah, I do agree with you. Yes, yes, I think that would be the explanation why using a strong form other than, I mean, using a weak form, which would be sort of the most typical, right? Tom and Andy, Tom and Andy, exactly. Now I'm going to show you the next slide, which contains sort of the answers, quotation marks, right? We may agree or disagree
Teacher?
with them. Yes, ma'am.
It's all that strong forms, depending on where the strong goes. It's depending on the intonation that you want to give to the sentence.
It's not exactly intonation, but it's connected with intonation because all of the suprasegmental elements in when you are uttering or producing a phrase or a sentence are sort of connected, right? Rhythm is connected with intonation. Intonation is also connected with which words you select to make more prominent in a sentence. And in each one of the words, when you have two or more syllables, you have to select which syllable is the most prominent one. Therefore, when we're now, as the topic for today's lesson is strong and weak forms, when you are stressing a specific section in a sentence, you have to use a strong or, right, a strong form. And if you're not emphasizing that section in a sentence, you're using a weak form, which particularly works for, remember, function words. So they are all connected. We are studying these as separate contents during the semester, but they are all connected. And they're all connected, particularly later on with the next topic, which is features of connected speech. So, the idea here is that we need to understand that function words in general have these two forms, strong and a weak form. The weak form is most common to use unless we decide to emphasize a specific word. But that has a connotation. There is a change of meaning whenever we decide to use the strong form for a function word. For all of these words that are at the end, for am, from, should, where, do, them, are, and, all of these words have a strong and a weak form, right? And the point is, we cannot be using English, we cannot be speaking English or talking in English using only strong forms, because whenever we are using a language like English, we need to remember that this is a lexical stress language. Therefore, there are certain elements that are emphasized and others are not. Okay, so they are connected to intonation, not specifically intonation, right? Now the answers proposed are these. For the first one, am, remember that we used a strong form for this verb? And it's true, I am an English teacher, okay? I mean, I may not look like one, but I am an English teacher, whether you believe it or not, okay? So that is a connotation. Form is I am, that's my sorry guys, I sort of moved to a different area in the room, closer to a window. Hopefully this is going to get better. Number 3, that you should see a doctor. That she should see a doctor. A piece of advice, not an obligation. If it's an obligation, I use the must, right? That she must see a doctor. That she has to see a doctor, but that she should see a doctor. So I'm emphasizing this to give my personal advice. The next one, it says they were able to find a job. It was possible for them, though you think not. So you did not think they were going to find a job. You think that they were not going to find a job, and they were able to find a job because of their, even though they had poor qualifications, really little experience, they managed to find a job. So they were able to find it. That's the connotation of stressing where, right? Even though they were against the odds, right? They still managed to land a job. They were able, okay? Number 5 says, do you know where? Do you know where? Do you know the answer to this question or not? Do you know where? The question was, do you know where he comes from? Do you know where he comes from? Where he comes from, right? Yes or no? Stop fooling around. Stop playing around, okay? Do you know where he comes from? I think you can complete this question like saying yes or no, and looking very impatient, right? And tapping with your foot, right? A little bit. Do you know or not? Number 6 was I'll give the assignments to them, and that's what I totally agree with your with the answer given one of you, right? Not the others. And number 7, she's one of our most valued students. She's one of us, not of you or them, right? So I completely agree with the answer provided as well. And number 8, Tom and Andy, not only Tom, don't forget Andy, which I totally agree as well with the answer provided by you. So the matter is whether you decide to use a strong form when you are expected to use a weak form has a change of meaning, right? Has a change in the way that the information is perceived and understood. Okay, just by stressing, by using a strong form, you don't need to go beyond that. For example, in number 1, you don't need to say, it's true even though you don't believe that I'm a teacher. If you use a strong form for the verb, I am an English teacher, in that particular context, I think this would make it very clear. Okay, and the same by using the strong form in number 5. Do you know where he comes from? Because in general, you're expected to use a weak form for an auxiliary. For do or does, you're expected to use a weak form. And in general, that's what how we use them, the auxiliaries, right? So there's a very key important aspect to remember whenever you're using a strong form. Let me try to fix this, move it a little bit upwards. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to read it. Sharing again. So take a moment and read this dialogue and see which elements do you think might be used as the weak forms. Which words should be used in a weak form and not in a strong form? All right then, let me know which elements do you think should be pronounced with the weak form and not with the strong form. Let me see if I can make this. Are you still seeing the dialect this time bigger?
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Yeah.
So, yes, so in the first one, thank you for the feedback. So in the first one, which do you think should be used in its weak form?
At.
Okay. Any other? Next sentence. Next sentence. Well, just one word, 8. Next sentence.
So.
Okay. Next sentence.
But.
Them.
Thank you. Then. Thank you. Next sentence.
To.
To.
Are.
Are.
And do.
And do. Next sentence.
To again.
To again. Next sentence. I mean the whole thing, right? The whole A. The I'm until 1. Any other?
Only do. Yes.
All right. All right. Next sentence.
Would.
Would. All right. And next sentence.
Do.
Do. All right. Any other? Next sentence, please.
One. The first one.
The first one, right?
D.
This one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next sentence. The last one.
Him.
Him. All right. Excellent. So in general, we know that that some elements right in a word can be used as with a weak form, right? Not everyone. So look at all these kittens, right? Look at all these kittens. Look at all these kittens. Perfect. I think I do agree with you here. How many are there? How many are there? How many are there? Yes, 8. They're all so cute. What if I say they're all so cute? They're all so. Would you say they're all so cute, or would you say they're all so cute? They're all so cute, or they're all so cute.
I would stress the so.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Me too. They are all so cute. I would emphasize the adverb, and then I would use a strong form for the adverb here. I mean, so, is that an adverb, by the way? It's so an adverb. I mean, in general, we know that adverbs qualify the adjective, right? So we take an adjective and we modify the adjective somehow with a degree. We're using an adverb, right? So it's not cute, it's so cute. So yes, I would probably use a strong form here for so. In the next sentence, it says, yes, but I can keep them. Yes, but I can't keep them. Yes, but I can't keep them. Do you agree that probably can't should be used with a strong form, like with trap, but I can't keep them?
Yes.
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 So yes, all right. So but and them, I do agree with you that they can be used with a weak form, but I can keep them. If you say, but I can keep them. I mean, you cannot keep those beautiful or cute kittens, but you could keep others, right? So it's not a point using a strong form for them. Doesn't make sense. There are no other kittens in this dialect. They are the only ones. So, but I can keep them. But I can keep them. But I can't keep them. No, if you use the emphasis on keep, can't is missed. It's not heard, but it can keep them. It would be confused this form, the negative, for maybe the affirmative. So yes, we have to use a strong form for can't, and but and them, are used in the weak form. What are you going to do in the next one? What are you going to do with them? 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 I don't know what you think.
Probably do takes the strong form.
Probably, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Because it's not used as an auxiliary here. So that would be the difference, right?
Yeah, it's using like as a verb.
Exactly. It's being used as a verb. That's right. So what are you going to do with them? I completely agree with you with are. What are you going to do with them? And with the preposition to. Now, is there any other word in which you perceive or hear a weak form and not a strong one? What are you going to do with them?
Probably with.
Okay, with them, with them. Sometimes I have a sense that there's no vowel sound. For, some speakers like don't pronounce vowel sound. Go from w to them, with them. What are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with them? Should I use a strong form for them or a weak form?
A weak form.
Probably a weak form, right?
Yeah,
Probably
because in the sentence before there's the them.
Exactly. And I think the point is the action, right? I mean, okay, so you can't keep them. So if you're not keeping them, what are you doing with them, right? So yeah, I think the focus here is on the action, on the verb do. What are you going to do with them? So then as the focus is here on the verb, we're using a weak form for them. That's right. Now, should we use a strong form for you? What are you going to do with them? What are you going to do with them? Should we use a strong you or a weak ye? What are you going to do with them?
No, probably not, because you are emphasizing the action.
Right. So exactly, I completely agree with you. Because if we use a strong form here, what are you going to do with them? I mean, as if somebody else was involved also with the problem or with the, what to do with the kittens. So what are you going to do with them? What is Susan going to do with them? What is Carla going to do with them? Now, what are you going to do with them? They are not going to keep the kittens, or they're going to keep the kittens. What are you going to do with them? Right? That would be a different, the emphasis or the strong form for you would change the meaning. And since we agree that is the action, the do, you is not expected to be used in its strong form. In the next one, I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give them away. What do you think of them? I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give them away. I'm going to give them away. We already know that give is a verb. A verb is a content word, so in general we use a strong form. I mean, not in general, always we use a strong form for verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbs. My point is them. Should I use a strong form or a weak form?
I think a weak form.
Problem, right? I'm going to give them away. Give them away. Give is a very, very common verb in English, such as get and take, right? And in general, the preposition or the particle at the end changes the meaning. Or the other verb that takes up a lot of, it's look for, look at, look after. And you change the meaning completely, right? So give them away implies the action of get rid of the kittens, right? You're getting rid of the kittens, but you give them away, right? We give them away. I think in Spanish we say regalar los gatos, right? Give them away. Now the next one, and that's going to be the last of this exercise. Do you want one? 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 You said that do is used in its weak form. Do you want one? Do you want one? Do you want one? Do you want one? What do you think?
You and one both can take the strong form, I think.
Uh-huh. So we can say, do you want one? And do you want one?
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Do you want one? And actually, this may have a variety of right? So we can have one version in which we stress the pronoun, right? Instead of do you, do you want one? Like insisting at the very moment, I want you to give me an answer now, because saying I'm giving them away. Do you want one? So I have 8. So now if you want one, I'm going to have only 7 to give away, right? So do you want one? Or the shift the emphasis on the kittens. Do you want one? Do you want one? of course, one little cat, right? So I do agree with you. I guess you and want can take up a strong form, and want per se, it's a verb, so it's got to be used in its strong form. And I guess do, we have I think it should be used in general in its weak form, right? I have two things to tell you before we finish the session. I'm going to try to make it very short. There are two things that I want you to know. One of them is sorry, three things. There are going to be some evaluations, right, this week. Ours is going to be on Wednesday, right? On Wednesday. Just this is a reminder. The whole day, right, from 8:30 up to midnight, for you to decide when to take the evaluations, writing quizzes, okay? And I should be ready with the instructions and rubric for the speaking quiz, and probably the deadline for uploading the speaking task is going to be on Friday. I think I'm moving this on Friday. The other one is that I want you to work on an exercise similar as the one we are dealing with. I want you to find a dialogue, okay? And I want you to underline or circle or highlight, whatever you want, the forms in that particular dialogue that you are going to choose that can be used as weak forms, okay? And then, of course, you can present this. This is going to be a task, not mandatory, just to practice, okay? Because it's something that probably going to be facing later on in an evaluation, right? Like identifying which in a sentence should be used in weak forms, and what's the interpretation for that, right? If you remember the previous exercise, the one in a slide, in a PowerPoint slide, the one that says, I am an English teacher, using a strong form would change the meaning, right? So that's the idea, that you select a short dialogue and you identify the weak forms in the dialogue, having in mind the implications of using weak form. And what if instead of a weak form, we used a strong form? What would be the change of meaning? Okay. And the third important aspect or piece of news is that we'll be talking next week about features of connected speech. Features of connected speech, such as assimilation, elision, graduation, compression, linking, glue. I think I'm sharing with you the syllabus, and I'm sharing this think about the features of speech. Features of connected speech are quite interesting because they make the speaker sound very real. Because when we speak, and sounds are, words are like string of sounds connected, right? And when we speak, we tend to elide some sounds. We tend to make them disappear. We link sounds, so we don't talk like in chunks, very robot-like. We connect sounds, we link them. So there's an influence from one sound into the other one. For example, when you have a sound which is velar and the next one is alveolar, the tongue tends to find a place in between the velum and the alveolar ridge, like probably the hard palate. So sometimes the sounds are not produced exactly where they are expected, quotation marks, expected to be articulated, right? And so what should you care? You should care about the features of connected speech because of the reasons I already told you, and also because you're going to be expected to give a presentation on this. Okay. The date to start presentations, we're talking about probably on Friday, because we meet on Mondays and on Fridays, right? So not this Friday, of course, not this Friday, the following next week. Okay. So the idea is that you consider to work with other people. I would be thinking of having presentations or micro teachings, because you're going to be teaching this feature of connected speech, given by at least 4 or 5 students as a group. So I want you to start thinking who you would like to work with. One important question: I would like to work with this, and this. All right, between 4 to 5 people, or we can leave it as between 3 and 5. Okay, between 3 students up to 5 students. You need to think about the topic. Could be assimilation, elision, gradation, compression, linking globally, or any other feature of connected speech that you can find. Okay. Next session, hopefully you should have at least the answer to the question: who will you be working with, and which topic would you like to cover? Of course, we cannot have every single group talking about assimilation and leaving all the other topics out. Okay. So at some point, next class, you should have 2 or 3 options, like your first option, your second preference, and your third preference. Okay. Does anyone have a question before we finish this session?
Carlos sent a question through the chat.
Thank you so much. The rubric will be uploaded today, because the original date that I had talked to you for, I think, in the afternoon or evening. The rubric in the LMS in the section called evaluation. Any other question, guys? I'll see you on Friday class. All right. Have a wonderful day. It's sunny. Enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye, everyone.
Okay, bye, teacher.
Goodbye, Professor.
Have a good
See you
day.
around.
Bye.
Bye, teacher.